Hey everyone, it's Ivan with kitbadger.com, here to bring you another tip slash gear review, I guess. And with that, I have a Trijicon SRS, great little red dot optic. And while it's not new to me, it's new to one of my rifles. Ergo, I need to make sure this thing is zeroed to my rifle. And for that, which we will talk about a little more, I have this handy dandy zeroing target from Jerking the Trigger. So we have our target here from Jerking the Trigger. This target is basically the brainchild of Frank Proctor from Way of the Gun Performance Shooting. And he went, put in the time, figured out all the science behind it, ballistic calculators, math, everything like that. Because he was trying to figure out, hey, if I don't have a 50-meter range to zero my rifle, but I want to have a 50/200 yard zero, how do I go about doing that? And what he came up with through science was that basically his point of aim versus his point of impact, there should be a 1.9 inch deviation between those two. So at Jerking the Trigger, they went ahead and made this awesome printable PDF target that you can find on their website. And it's made of 1.9 inch squares. So up here, I have this dark black dot. That is going to be my point of aim. And what I want to do is get all my rounds in this subdued gray dot right there, which should be my point of impact. And when I'm aiming here and all my rounds are hitting here, that at 10 yards is going to translate to point of aim, point of impact, zero at 50/200 yards. So we're going to staple this up and put some rounds on it. So quick note, when you're going to staple up your target, buy one good stapler. Don't have the piece of junk stapler that breaks and then you end up buying another cheap one and then it breaks. Buy one target. I'm sorry, one stapler rather. And when you go and set up your target, we're going to be shooting this from the prone at 10 yards. I don't want to be having this thing like a mortar round, like shooting it up over the mountain range. So make sure you appropriately lower this to where it's not going to go up and over the mountain when you're in the prone 10 yards away. So quick note, I'm going to throw this thing on there before we get shooting. Wanted to say though, when I put this on, we'll say right there looks good. When you put it on, this has a brobo mount, basically one throw lever. Make sure you push it all the way forward towards the muzzle and then clamp it on there. What that's going to do, whether it's your optic or anything else, under recoil, the rifle is going to move back. And if this is all the way forward, it'll just move back with the rifle. If it is not all the way forward, like say it's all the way to the rear, indexed into that slot, as the rifle moves, it's going to slowly inch forward. Not a huge deal, but it will end up throwing your zero, which translates to bigger the further and further you get out. So got that on there. Now, one more quick note. I can shoot this obviously off the magazine, but brought this guy out here. Range pad, or I'm sorry, shooting rest rather. Awesome piece of gear. Don't use it very often, but ends up saving so much ammo and paying for itself. You're not trying to make this hard on yourself. You're trying to make this as easy as possible. Get the most solid foundation you can get, zero your rifle, be done with it, move on, get to more training. That said, gonna go ahead and gas this rifle up and we will get going. So first two rounds, way over here off to the right. Gonna go ahead and mark them, use my trusty Fisher space pen. Even if this was wet and it was raining, which I actually wish it was, still work on your paper, great deal. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and make some bold adjustments to go over to the left and up. And we'll see where we're at. So I'm gonna mark these. My group moved over, some bold adjustments as I wanted to go left and up. And now I'm right there. You should be touching at 10 yards. It's close. I was getting lazy, impatient, fast, and I got sloppy. So I need to slow down and I need to go ahead and move those rounds over here. I'm only shooting 2 rounds because I know I have a pretty stable platform from 10 yards. But now, when I really refine this, I want to make sure I slow down a little bit more and get my good rounds. So I shot my first group, shot my second, made that correction, And then I put about 5 rounds into that hole right there. And it could probably stand to go 1 click to the left, honestly. But essentially, this gets me on paper at the 50 or 200. So now I can go ahead and confirm this out at the 50 or 200 if range permits. The reason why this ragged hole is up here though is on the SRS, the actual dot in there is actually, it's pretty small. And you want to go ahead and reduce the illumination so you can see the target. But if I keep the dot right here in the middle of this, it's going to float around in here. It's a big area to try and like pick one point out at. So what I end up doing is I end up basically where this line intersects the very top edge, which in turn 1.9 inches below that should be where all my rounds are impacting for a 50, 200 yard zero, which is what happened. So I'm comfortable with it. And when I have the opportunity, I'm gonna go ahead and push it out to 50 and I'll confirm it there. Gotta say, I'm really pleased with the zeroing target from jerking the trigger. Been using it for a while now. Anytime I need to zero a rifle, optic, whatever it may be, I always throw that out there. Great, great, great zero target. Because it's only 10 yards. Like, I'm lazy, I don't wanna walk 50 yards, let alone 200. Speaking of that, this is creating a 50 yard / 200 yard zero. Why do we want that? You can end up using whatever you'd like. Personally, I find that to be the most useful with respect to the engagement distance I use this rifle for. So having a 50, 200 yard zero, it means point of aim, point of impact is gonna be dead on at 50 yards. When the barrel, or I'm sorry, bullet leaves the barrel, it's gonna be a little bit low, it's gonna come up. As it's coming up, at 25 yards, it's gonna be 1.2 inches low from your point of aim. It's gonna pass through point of aim, point of impact at 50, and then it's gonna go up. Maxes out around 100 yards at about 1.7 inches high, and then drops back down, point of aim, point of impact, again at 200. And then out to 300, max drop, I think, is, it ends up dropping about 6.5 inches, somewhere in there. So at 300 yards, if your dot's right here, it's still gonna drop down on the torso, you're in there. And anywhere out to 200 yards, plus or minus less than 2 inches. So as long as you're doing your part, bullet's gonna go where you want it to end up going. And I find it to be the most useful zero. Your mileage may vary, but at any rate, great zeroing target. Remember to always confirm at a later time when you have an opportunity, which I'm going to do in a minute. But yeah, make sure you confirm at least 50, if not 200, given the space. And thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.